Timothy Hardaway.
So let me see.
Yo,
here.
Luka has 0 assists, and he's about to smoke my entire parlay. This motherfucker.
How does he have 0 assists?
Bro, and there's
That
3
part's
minutes
kinda
left
crazy.
in the second quarter, bro. Listen, he hasn't had less than 7 assists in like 15 straight games or something like that.
That's
Man,
kind of crazy.
Hey, yo, they are 14-0.
bro, Luka got 0 assists, bro, and it's almost halftime.
Oh, and that's what? Are they winning?
Yeah, by 8
He gonna
points.
come out in the second half.
They're
though,
winning,
pass
and he
that
doesn't
ball.
have an assist.
Bro, he need to finish this half with like 2 assists at least. Bro, I'm not trying to lose my money because some sucker.
How much did you put? How many assists did you say he was gonna get?
7.
He can get that in the second half, Freddie. He can get that. And it's a close game too. It's,
Well, here's the
they'll be
other
able to
problem.
score and
Paul
come
George.
back.
The other part is Paul George over here with 5 points.
That's kind of tough. I mean, but he can get it. How many points did you have him down for? 20 or 25?
Nah, like 15, 16, man. I was nervous even
come
doing
on,
that.
man. He gonna get that. He gonna get
Shit.
that. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And I apologize if my hand do something weird. It's really frigid right now. I know it's cold outside, but I'm indoors. If y'all can't tell, you might not be able to. But anyways, we got my boys here, Reese and Freddie. Reese, how's everything with you? I see you got the Giants on, so it looks like you got something nice to talk about. Guess he don't got nothing nice to talk about. All right, cool. Freddie, everything.
He was showing his backdrop. No words needed.
Right, no trash talk at all. All right, cool. Hey, that's very rare too, because Reese loves to talk. I don't know if y'all know that or not. Freddie, it looks like you good though. Nick's doing well.
Yeah, I mean, just want to bring this up one time. We played today, right? So I just want to make sure. I almost wore it on the show, but just in case we messed around and took a L while we were here, I wanted to make sure that, you know what I'm saying? I had to be able to quickly disperse. So, I keep them close when it's game time. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's fair.
stay tuned. We got T.O. today, Toronto.
If you have a team and they got good jerseys, that is probably one of the greatest gifts in the world.
That's a good point.
There are a lot of
When your
teams out
team
there
can put out
that-
good colorways, yeah.
That's a fact.
Facts. Now look, fellas, we just gonna cut right on down to it. Reese got the jersey on, so I feel like it's called Get a Bucket, but this is a sports show nonetheless. So NFL playoffs again, sports show. Reese, since you got your Eagles on, right? How are you feeling about the playoffs this fall? Who do you got going to the Super Bowl? I know you got your Eagles, so I'm assuming them. Who gonna be battling the Eagles?
And so up until Patrick Mahomes' high ankle sprain yesterday, I'm leaning towards the winner of the Bills-Bengals game, and I think that's gonna be the Bills. I think, and it's crazy because I know that the Bengals can beat the Bills.
Yeah,
but
I
don't know. I was talking to a friend of mine about this the other day. In the AFC, I don't know if it's just me. It bothers me that they don't have to run the ball. Like everybody over there just seems like they just throw the ball. So I can't even properly judge what's going to happen because none of the teams seem to have a decent running game, but somehow they keep progressing up the field.
I mean, they got a lot of weapons on that from that wide receiver and tight end spot. That might be the case. Freddie, who's your Super Bowl predictions right now? And again, he said the Bills versus the Eagles, and I'm assuming he didn't give a winner specifically, but it's safe to assume he's going Eagles. So, Freddie, who you got for the Super Bowl?
For a matchup, I'll say the winner of this game, like you said, between the Bills and the Bengals, will go up against the winner from the San Fran-Dallas game. And I think the winner of the Super Bowl is going to come out of the NFC for the exact reason that Reese said. You got to listen, the same way you need rebounding and defense in the playoffs in basketball, right? Interior game. You need a run game in defense and coaching in football. And like you said, NFC has that, the AFC don't have that. So I'll say the Cowboys or San Fran, whoever wins that game is going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay. Interesting. And that's going to be a nice little transition on to the next quick take, or at least this will be after I say mine. But that's tough. I gotta go Bills because I think sports is always production, right? But then I don't want to say it's rigged, but it is a narrative based style. So I think the Bills have a lot going for them in terms of narrative right now. DeMar Hamlin, he's doing well. And then the Bills Super Bowls back in the day, the 4 that they lost, like that's kind of tough. So I think they might be able to go to the Super Bowl. And I had the Dolphins initially, but Tua went down, so that kind of messed up mine.
Well,
and I also got the 49ers as well, but it's tricky as well. The Cowboys, this is their time too, so I agree with you guys as well.
Hey, just do me a favor as my boy, man. Make sure this doesn't get released to the Buffalo and Rochester area, because for me to not say the Bills, I'm supposed to technically say the Bills. If they see this, I might not be able to walk around my own city. So,
hey, Reese, I might have to actually do that though, because I remember a couple months ago, I had you and Ant that came on, and they were telling me like, oh yeah, like they're crazy, this, that, and the third. I'm like, oh,
they jump through
what I say around Bills fans. Okay, all right, that's straight. Now let me ask you this, fellas. Though, like I said, this is going to transition on to the next quick take. But sports betting, right? Now we mentioned that the 49ers and Cowboys is going to be a good game to watch because whoever wins that game probably will go to the Super Bowl. Except Reese didn't say that, but Freddie, you and I are on that same accord. Now. I said 49ers, but fellas, I picked Dallas on my FanDuel match. Like I don't know. Like, how confident should I be, Reese? I'm gonna start with you since you differed from me and Freddie. Like, how confident am I? Because again, that's almost a rival. That's a rival for you guys.
All I'm gonna say is, FanDuel has a boost right now. It's plus 500 Bengals and 49ers to win. So all I'm gonna say is, if the Bengals win, the Cowboys are going to win because the boost never worked. The boost never hit. So the FanDuel is going to make a call. So based on what happens in the first game, the second game will happen opposite. So
they're going to make a call.
If the Bills win, the 49ers will win. If the Bengals win, the Cowboys will win. The boost will not hit, everybody. Just want to let y'all know that now. Okay? That's sports betting tip 101. The boost will not hit.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right, so it's based on the boost. Then. So, Freddie, let me ask you this then, because again, fellas, I've stated 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl, but I don't know, man. It's something about the Cowboys this year. Like when they beat the Buccaneers, it felt like, okay, maybe this is a little bit different. This is a different Cowboys team. Dak looked a little bit better. Should I feel comfortable in keeping my bet, Freddie, or should I cash out now? Because I put down, I forget how much, but like I can get about 20-30 now. So should I, and I did like a round robin too. So should I cash out now?
And question, where is this matchup? This is in San Fran, right?
Yeah.
San Fran has, I'm going to edge it not solely off of that, but a good part of it is going to be because it's the 49ers. Now, any other team, if they were playing, it's still technically a home game for Dallas because there's Cowboy fans everywhere. But San Fran 49ers has fans everywhere as well. But aside from that, their defense is elite. They could literally just rely on coaching, defense, and run game, right? Purdy only has to make 3 or 4 plays. As to where I feel like that, who had an amazing game. Dallas has a great defense right now. For whatever it's worth, they have coaching. They have the veteran quarterback. But I feel like you still got to worry about Dak making those mistakes. San Fran puts pressure on your quarterback quick. Dak's going to have to make constant, quick mistakes or constant, quick decisions. And I think San Fran has that advantage.
Okay.
All in all, you still got a chance, bro. It's a 50-50 split, realistically. I wouldn't put money on it either way.
Okay, I got you.
And I think, too, based on just talking to the winner of the game, like, I think if Nick Bosa or Micah Parsons, whichever one of those players win their possessions, their team is going to win the game, most likely. And I'll say this, if Nick Bosa is having a good game, there's no chance that the Cowboys win the game. I don't think that there is any. I think that
I do remember you saying that like Micah is more like a luxury car. so like they don't use him as much. So I can understand that if Nick's is on the field more, he's having more of an impact. That makes sense.
They just don't have Micah's hand in the ground every play, which is whereas Nick Bosa, his one goal every time he hits the field is to get to the quarterback or to stop a run. You know what I mean? Whereas Micah, he has to kind of get a couple more decisions made before he goes in for kills. But
yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm worried for Pollard in this game. I think they're gonna bottle Pollard up, which is gonna be interesting to see how they counter that. But
yeah. Sure. I'm hoping they play. I'm hoping the Cowboys kind of win, low key. And I hate them. I don't hate them. I just don't like their fan base. But I'm pulling for the Bills and having that game going over 48.5, and then the Cowboys under 46.5. But let's see how that shakes out. We'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah,
but that's
we want Dawson Knox TD for the seventh game in a row. That's what we want. If you didn't hit on it last game, there's always this game. You just gotta believe that it won't stop when you bet on it.
Might be. But hey, we gonna transition on to the next quick take, ladies and gentlemen. So look, that's enough about football because it's called Get a Bucket. Last time I checked, there ain't no buckets in football, but it's buckets in basketball. But people do be resting.
They do have the Salvation Army buckets at the end of the end zone that people be jumping into now and then. You know what I'm saying? Touchdown.
Or you Philly ski mask.
There's no buckets for scores. It's not transitioning. It's not translating to scores. But look, people aren't scoring too much either in the NBA when you look at it because they resting too damn much. And you got so many doctors nowadays. And when you think back in the day, there was one team doctor, maybe a strength trainer. They had a lot more practicing, and it was a lot harder practices. There were more back-to-backs. Should we be resting players now? Is that an issue for you guys, Freddie? I know you like the old school game, so I'm gonna lead with you.
All right, so yeah, exactly. You talk about Karl Malone, Mike, or you know how much trash I talk about Mike sometimes, right? And I love Mike, but Mike played all the time. Karl Malone, John Stockton,
Kobe, Timmy, even up to that point.
For sure.
KG,
So injuries happen. Let's not add Timmy into that, but. Bro, they got caught taking a commercial flight. All right, no, my fault. But yeah, the old school players, they played, right? Like you said, sometimes they had 3 straight days of games, 5 games in 7 nights, all that, multiple back-to-backs, all of that. Like you said, I appreciated that. More importantly, I appreciated people playing through injuries. You brought up Kobe. I remember back in the earlier days, Brown had a hurt finger and he was sitting out for mad long. And it's just come on, bro, And now these days, you got kids who are 19 years old, 20 years old, getting rest management and stuff, which is wild. I think it also dilutes the regular season a bit because, we're going to talk about some of these teams later, but you look at teams like the Kings. I want to put the Pacers on there right now. I won't call OKC. I can say some of these teams that are winning a bunch of games that we didn't expect to. And we got to give them credit for winning those games. But then you also look, even the Denver Nuggets, a lot of the times they're playing teams without their first or second best star. And it's man, is this team really good or are they just playing teams that are, and you don't blame that on the teams that are winning because it's they got to play who's in front of them. But
so you're blaming that on the resting the players.
Yeah. So again, just an award.
Not completely, but yeah, it helps out.
Yeah. And it's just so that's the part that bothers me the most. You look at Mikal Bridges, I don't think he's missed a game in his entire career. It's something crazy. You appreciate that, but you don't find many guys like that. So I said, I just think people sitting out. I don't think it's even a matter of, like you said, the having more trainers and stuff. I literally think it's just people being soft at the end of the day. Like you said, I have an aggravation here. I'm not going to play.
Okay.
Stretch out ice and get on the court. You're getting paid more money now.
Right. Now, Reese, let me ask you this, because I don't know if the Celtics actually really rest their players like that. So what's your stance on players resting now? Because especially if you're younger, we're expecting you to kind of run and gun, be durable out there. If you get an injury, a legitimate injury, Cade Cunningham can't play. All right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But if you can go play still, I'm expecting you to. So what's your stance on this? Should this Should we start changing the rest rules? Should there be like a legitimate case for like why you need to rest players? Like, what's your stance?
So I'm gonna say, I know it's a quick take. I'm gonna say first 1 and 2 things, real quick things. First thing, piggybacking off of what Freddie said, I more so think it's a culture thing and what your organization is willing to kind of accept. I don't think there's a coincidence that the only team in the league that has multiple players that have not missed games is the Knicks. Because think about who their coach is. Tibbs is, you know what I mean?
But he runs you into the ground, and he doesn't have much playoff success too, though. Whereas Coach Pop has rested players. Granted, you know what I'm saying? I love Timmy. I wouldn't put Timmy as the poster child or even really in the framework of, they're load managing, although they did load manage, but he played a lot of games. So I feel like more so towards the end of his career, that's when they load manage. And
that's why I really think it's based on what your organization can kind of stomach and what they kind of feel like the risk to reward is. The second thing I'll say is, I don't think the resting is going to become better for the consumer, regardless, no matter how it looks at it. So I feel like it would be cool if there could be some type of insurance that's put into place. For example, the other night when every Warrior starter sat against the Cavaliers, you had Reggie Miller during the show basically apologize to the fans for having to see the Warriors JV team. And he called them the JV team on live TV. You know what I mean?
That's so tough.
I mean, but it's true though. It's true.
But like, so is there any, I guess, because I got to look at it from a player standpoint too. Like for example, I was looking at the 76ers playing the Kings, and you know they took out Joel Embiid and James Harden last minute. I'm like, damn, that's kind of tough. But maybe they do need their rest. I mean, at the end of the day, they're human. I just saw one of my homeboys play 4 quarters and he was tired, but he's not a professional.
To that trade, can I say this? Because if the schedule was still how it used to be, like now, like this year, I'm honestly not crazy about the home and home matchups where you play the same team back to back. You know, so you can play the Spurs. I think so. I forget who played the Spurs like 3 times in 4 games or something like that.
The Lakers.
Like, was it the Lakers? Okay, yeah, it's just like so.
It was the Lakers who got 3 easy wins.
You're not traveling as much. There's way less back to backs. You're not traveling as much. Like you said, you have the top of the line recovery. You know, this stuff Amari used to wear, like you put those like sleeping bags on your legs, stuff like that. We have the stuff to get you back to 100%. The next day. I don't know. I feel like it's tough just to give these players a break if they're not really hurt.
Speaking to the consumer piece, right, Trey? What I'm saying is at this point, I'm kind of accepting the fact that people are going to be rested. So as a consumer, if I pay $600 for a ticket to that Cavaliers Warriors game and 5 starters set, I want my money back.
Absolutely.
Because the product that I paid for was not the product that I received. In theory, right? The product that I had thought that I was paying for was to at least see 2 of the 5 starters, Trey. They said,
I feel like though,
what's the solution? 24 hours notice or 12 hours notice? Like,
I feel like there will always be a risk with players not playing. Like, let's say for example, I make a sports bet for tomorrow's game. There's a chance that players will either sit out, or there's a chance that somebody who is out might play. So I mean, I feel like you're always going to run that risk. That's why I do hear you on the insurance thing. Like from a fan, it would suck not to see specific players play, especially like if that's your favorite team.
Or out of
there's that risk too, though. You always do run that risk. But I mean,
speaking of insurance, right? Check this out. How about insurance for betting? Because that's tough. The people who are setting these lines, right? They're literally like, I don't even use Caesar Sportsbook anymore. It's the worst sports app ever. For one, it's very limited in what it allows you to do. Like, they put you you can't win, bro. You gotta do a minimum of like 9 legs, 10 legs in a parlay, single game. You can't do like a parlay builder. And then they literally will give you only 3 options until the last second. And then you got to hurry up and try to put your bet in. It's like, it's not. And that's partially though, because these people are sitting out game time decision game. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then, so, I mean, I feel like there should be some insurance for that.
It's tough. Cause again, it's risk at the end of the day. Like, that's literally the name of the game. It's I was
about to say, but that's what I'm saying. That's the only reason why I didn't like the sports betting example. compared to as a consumer buying a product. I feel like that's completely different than somebody when you're risking money. You know what I mean? When I buy an NBA ticket, I'm not thinking about it as a risk reward situation. At the end of the day, I cannot get money back unless I hit a half court shot for 70 bands. You know what I mean? That's the only way that I'm getting money back. And that's the only way that there's a risk reward factor. But other than that, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, that's my take on the quick take.
Okay, I feel you. Side note, there is another way to get some money. You could do a slip and fall like Ezell did on Friday. That could work. So I'm just saying, like, shout out to my guy Ezell, rest in peace, everything. Just want just gotta give him a little plug right there. But look, fellas, we talked about that one for a good little second, right? So we're gonna speed on to this quick take. Uncle Shay Shay had a little problem with the Grizzlies. Halfway made you want to sip your tea. Oh, there's coffee though from Starbucks. I'm just saying, you gotta get your plugs in there.
Mine is tea. Mine is tea. It's tea for that.
Yours is tea. You got tea. I was about to say, yeah, Reese is on the salt right now.
It is 5 o'clock somewhere.
Tea for tequila.
I ain't mad at that. But look, I'm because it's drama, right? It's a little controversy. Reese, who was wrong more so in the scenario? Is you gonna go Shay Shay or the Grizzlies? And I gotta say the Grizzlies because you had Dillon Brooks, you had Ja Morant, you had Steven Adams, you had T Morant, who not even owned the team but is Ja Morant's daddy. I'm just saying, like, who gets the blame more so for you?
So can we read? Can I read a piece of what Shannon Sharp said happened?
Oh yeah, go ahead. When he was explaining it.
Yeah, when he explained it.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm just quit it. I'm gonna do it real quick. So he said it started with just Dillon Brooks. I said he was too small to guard LeBron. That is a fact. Okay, so this is me trying to figure out who's to blame, right? He said that Dillon Brooks is too small to guard LeBron James. That is a fact. Okay, Dillon Brooks then told him, "Fuck you," and so, all right. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's 2 against the Grizzlies right there, okay? That's 2 against the Grizzlies. 2 against the Grizzlies. Shannon Sharp did respond, fuck you. Okay, that's 1 against Shannon Sharp. Okay, he goes on to say, he started to come at me. You don't want these problems. Then Ja came out of nowhere. Then Ja Daddy came out of nowhere. And I would like to say, if we talk about over-under, I'm taking Shannon Sharp against 5 to 10 of them mofos. Even Steven Adams. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Hey. Now
that's
right there.
Steven Adams is strong, but strength don't mean no when it's time to throw them bows. All right, I'm just saying. Shannon Sharp. I know where Shannon Sharp from. I know where Shannon Sharp from. I don't know.
He's from the fields. He's from the fields, man.
I hear you. But okay, so the Grizzlies were more so at fault.
Yeah.
Because I look at it like this too. So after Dillon Brooks says, fuck you, right? Because if you can't say a casual fuck you to a fan, what are we doing, right?
Right.
Right.
I mean, like, what if?
Especially if they're initiating the trash talk. I'm just saying, he ain't say nothing about your mama, nothing. But all right, cool. So then Shay Shay says, "Oh, fuck you back." What was said after that? Like, I need to know that piece because to me, I have it at 0-0. Everybody even because I need to know.
Dillon Brooks started walking up on him.
Right.
So so Dillon. Okay, so then all right. So now we had one favorite in the Grizzlies,
and that's when Shannon Sharp said, "You don't want these problems."
Okay. Yeah.
And then that's when his daddy showed up. But Steven Adams got there early and tried to like be the enforcer, but it was like this had nothing to do with you. And it was so weird to see Steven Adams try to break up between a pedestrian and a player on court when Shannon Sharp had not even stepped on the court. You know what I mean? He's still standing above his seat. And Steven Adams starts walking up to him as if he's like diffusing a situation. But I didn't see it.
When I saw it, Steven Adams was kind of like in the mix. And I could see you said what?
I was gonna say, if you watch it though, watch it again and see that Steven Adams gets there before Dillon Brooks though. That's my thing. It's like he's trying to like not let something happen, but it was like nothing was happening. You know what I mean? Like just guys chatting. I mean,
Maybe it seemed worse on the court. I don't know. I don't know what was going. Like Steven didn't seem like he was being overly aggressive. So I don't even want to. I'm not trying to paint the picture like no. I say like I didn't think he was trying to fight Shay.
I didn't either. That's why I don't know why he pulled up.
Yeah. Well, I thought he was trying to get into the situation. The biggest guy always got to get in the middle for some reason.
And he will get sat down first.
I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna fight Shay like that. Like Shay and him gotta have beef. I don't know. That's how I look at it. Fred, like.
Yeah.
So
all right, yeah, because I've been waiting for y'all to, because we gotta address the bigger issue with all this. So yeah,
what's the bigger issue for you? What's the biggest issue for you then?
Let's absolve Ja and T Morant though. Ja was kind of standing there, kind of laughing, just watching it.
Right.
And T Morant was talking trash, but after he acknowledged he loved Shay Sharp, it's all boom, boom, boom. The biggest issue is this: Memphis got to do something about Dillon Brooks. All right, he keeps becoming an issue, and for as well as he can play defense and as much as he gives energy and some identity to that team, they have enough guys that do that who are much quieter, and the guy that talks as much as him is a superstar, potential MVP, right? Dillon Brooks is not worth the trouble. I'm going to say that now. One, you have a Desmond Bane who does everything Dillon Brooks does and much more efficiently. And is
maybe not defensively, but
no.
I would argue defensively.
Only reason why I say that because like isn't Desmond like 6'3"?
No, 6'5", solid muscle. Yeah,
I saw 6'3" somewhere. You
know they be 6'5", solid muscle, bro.
That's not bad. If he's 6'5", if he's 6'5", I'll take that back. I know Dillon was 6'6", or listed at 6'6".
Yeah, he's 6'6".
They got Desmond Bane.
But
Desmond Bane listed at 6'5".
Yeah, okay, as much he's. When I think I brought this up to you off air, who do you think is better between him and JR? I personally think JR is better, but JR doesn't cost as much as the headache, man. Like Dillon Brooks is always in the news. How is your fourth option player always in the news for negative stuff, right? Because I don't know what the score was at the time of that squabble, but I know they lost the game after that. And that was the end of the second quarter or something like that, maybe?
Right.
Yeah, they lost the game. They lost the game after that. Could that maybe have fueled the Lakers just the way it fueled Golden State? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they got to get rid of this guy.
They're putting targets on that.
Let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys this then. What would you think his trade value is? Because when I look at Dillon Brooks, I think of a streaky 15-point per game scorer. When I say I don't like that because like I really could have Buddy at like 8 points a game for real, or I can see him at 12 points per game. Because like coming out of college, I liked him. I liked his game against Lonzo. I was like, ooh, Dillon seems nice. He's a good defender. But what would y'all say his trade value is, Reese? What would you say that is? Like, what would you be willing to give up for Dillon Brooks?
So his salary is sitting at $11 million.
When is it ending?
When is about 18 a game right now or something?
When is his contract ending?
He is a unrestricted free agent 2023. So that would be this summer.
Yeah, this offseason. What are you putting up? 18 a game right now, Reese?
Let me see. I got you. And so kind of talking to that trade value. Yeah, Fred, he's averaging 16 right now this season.
16, so down, yeah.
16, but at 40%.
I said streaky 15.
40% from the field, what, 34, 35 from 3? Where's that at 3?
He might be lower at the 3.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's shooting 40% from the field.
But if he's majority of the shots is 3, naturally.
32% from 3.
How much?
32.7.
Yeah.
So you talk about streaky. Like, it's not worth the headache, bro. Because he's going to take bad shots. He's going to take bad shots. He's going to talk trash, get technical. He's going to make irrational turnovers, right? He's going to get the crowd hype and like.
But Freddie does
too much issues.
Because I got this a lot early on when I was trying to like argue why you would trade. And I don't think that this guy does any of the bad things that Dillon Brooks does. But when I think about a guy like Marcus Smart as the enforcer, I don't think Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., who can't stay on the court because he can't stop fouling,
right?
Steven Adams, even with him being so quiet, I don't think their team has an enforcer.
But I think
they have a. I hear what you're saying.
But
I hear what you're saying.
When you look at a Steven Adams, that's your muscle, right? You look at a Ja Morant, he's gonna talk the talk, right? You look at Desmond Bane, it's like a quiet And like San Antonio never had an enforcer. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, for what Dylan Brooks does, you can easily go out there and get Jay Crowder and bring him back in.
I would argue that
I just wouldn't trade Dylan Brooks to Phoenix for him but with Dylan Brooks, bro, he's not Dennis Rodman when it comes to a guy who does a lot of wild shit. Like, your return is going to be much higher, you know what I'm saying, with a Dennis Rodman. He's worth the headache. Dylan Brooks doesn't do enough for your team on a night-to-night basis. In a league where everybody's putting up 20 to 30 a game, elite perimeter defense is not as the same as back in the day when Ron Harper is locking somebody up. You get what I'm saying? Like, because
I feel like this,
lock up down to
I feel like this is
going to be 22.
I feel like this is going to be a solid moment. I feel like this is going to be a solid moment we realize as a turning point for the Grizzlies. I always felt like they were a small forward away from really being like a strong contender for dynasty. I don't like using that word around like seriously, but like I know I jokingly said it about the Pelicans, but like this team could be a dynasty as long as they get a really good small forward.
Do they trade Dylan Brooks in a draft pick for Kuzma, or like what does that look like for you?
You know how I feel about Kuzma. See, like people, he knows what Kuzma did. All right, I think I don't. Or do Dylan, I don't know what his trade value is, bro. Like,
or do they trade a couple picks to get Jay Crowder? Like, what are you saying? Like, they need a role player. Do they need a wing that can go out there and get it at that position?
I think a wing that can go out there and get it personally. But I like think defensive minded too though. But like I'm focusing more so on defense before I think offense with my wing. But I do need him to get some offense as well. Like a Mikal Bridges like play, which I know, like you said, Freddie, there aren't too many players out there like that. Yeah. But I mean, if you can finesse somebody out there,
contending Western Conference teams ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying, try to help them out.
There might be some teams out in the East that you can finesse these players for.
Kuzma.
In reality, with
mine.
Dylan Brooks being an unrestricted free agent, his trade value isn't that high because if he wants to walk somewhere, he'll just walk. And
but I'd rather you walk than pay him.
And what they'll end up probably doing is doing a sign and trade in some situation. Whereas if he does go to another team, that's the only way that the Grizzlies will be able to get something in return without losing it all, quote unquote, in Dylan Brooks.
That's
all right, one more thing. I know we got to move on. What about DeAndre Hunter? If Atlanta is willing to take calls on him,
a third pick of the draft.
What about Cam Reddish?
I like Cam Reddish, but I don't think they're going to. I mean, they could make that trade. It's just you would have to give up more players because y'all have already stated a second round pick is what it would take. So I mean, I don't know if they give up Dylan for a second.
Y'all not thinking, Freddie. You're not thinking splash enough, man. Jimmy Butler.
I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna say Jimmy or DeMar, but I'm also thinking too.
Trey. DeMar not an enforcer. If I'm trading Dylan Brooks for another wing that I
don't think DeMar's personality fits that.
Yeah. He don't. DeMar wouldn't.
Jimmy will be fired even though it can't happen, but that'll be fine.
I don't think you finessing that one. I think you have a better shot at DeMar. But either way, it sounds like Dylan Brooks is a problem. Just not for Uncle Shay Shay. So which again is how we started. I was sitting there like, yo, how the hell did we talk about Dylan Brooks? Like we've been talking about him for a minute. I forgot he was about to get his ass beat by Uncle Shay Shay.
And this is the problem. Always in the
he was gonna get touched. Definitely. That's for certain.
Danny Green. That's the funniest nickname in the world. Evil Danny Green. They call him Evil Danny Green.
I'm so weak. That's crazy. That's crazy. But look, that's enough of these fringe starters, right? Tough. We're going to talk about the All-Stars next, ladies and gentlemen. So, we're going to transition on to the next segment, which I just stated that. But anyways, stay tuned and enjoy the highlights, definitely.
But has a tough matchup tonight in Dillon. And Jokic will feed, and Gordon is there. And they knock it in. Here is the darting Morant using the glass. Brown makes the move outside. Jokic on the cut, and this is over Adams. On this team that are shooting over 40% from free. Jokic through traffic. incredibly important players for each of these teams as Jackson comes up. And that's why he's having the most efficient offensive year of his career. There's Morant, the grin, and because of that, he's been ultra efficient. Caldwell pulled 3 starting lineup and filled that gap. Started 16 games. Jokic will spin. They do have Jokic on, and they just brought in Bones Highland. They go in 28 games and started 68 for Memphis. It's good. This year, he's been incredible and very efficient. He's too old to do this. Oh my goodness. That's impressive if you're 26. Yes. That's a 3 turnover forced by this defense. A good one. Jones the other way bumped as he was in flight and a foul right on track. 17 free throw attempts by Denver. And Brown right through the defense. So with the 7th player over 40% from 3. Morant scooping it up and down. Nice play. There are only 4 teams in the NBA which are top 10 in offense and defense efficiency. The other way. 3 because of the screen by Jokic. Making a big impact here. Getting the play close to home. Second team a season ago. A rising star with a 3. John Morant. Morant is still kind of holding on to that left hand, but here he is with the left hand triple drive. Brady down to a 9-point game. Oh, look at that pass. Aldama was the site of that pass. Prime deflected and rejected by Brown. Then goes interception by Aldama. Roddy. Oh, nice feed. Morant will flow. Highlight of your dunk. We would have a fulfilling. What a pass by Jokic. Brown finds an open lane and kicks it outside. That is a 3. Good. Brown is driving and feeding. Brown will take a 3. 1 Brown by Adams. Here comes Morant. 14-point third quarter. Now make it 16. Morant and Jokic comes out on him. Beautiful shot there. Denver coming right back quickly. And the rebound. Morant the other behind the back. Takes it up. He's a wizard. Tries to excited about it. Both he and all of his players. Green, 15-footer. Has ever played on Christmas Day. Go inside. Clark. Go back to Clark and a bad pass. Green has it. Oh! 17, 18 feet from the basket. Doesn't make a lot of sense. And this guy puts up these kind of numbers on a regular basis.
You talked earlier about his historic night against the Charlotte Hornets. Well, there's only been 6.
Leading through traffic is Jones, finding Williams, shoves it into Clark in an easy 2. Yes, we don't see any more zone. It's like John Morant's brief rest is going to be over. And the 3, double again tonight, 11, 11, and 11. Gordon drives, swashbuckling the other way, kept his balance and pops a tray. For Denver not to turn the ball over. Green. Malone felt they got it against Charlotte over the weekend, and a drive here by the Denver Nuggets are the #1 team in the Western Conference. Well, Memphis isn't going far away. You know, the Grizzlies will be in the hunt.
All right, so look, we are back now. We have a wonderful selection. Hope y'all enjoyed the highlights, but the highlight of the video is NBA All-Star Weekend. And of course, we got to start it off with the dunk contest. So, fellas, we do have Kenyon Martin Jr., Shaedon Sharpe, and Mac McClung as the contestants this year. If you had one person that you wanted to add, who would it be? And I'm going to just go ahead and go first. I'm throwing John Morant in this one just because this man's had too many bodies caught this year. Like, he gets up, he's electric. I don't know what to tell you, man. Freddie, we're going to start it off with you. Who you got? Give me one name.
I'm going Jaden Ivey.
Okay. Now, answer me this. Why did you say Jaden? Is it because I listed Ja? Like, is that the reason why? Like,
Partially, but I feel like Ja is too big of a star, to no offense to these guys, to be with those no names. I have him in my special pause fantasy 4, which is too good. Listen, I got him in a separate one, but yeah, he can't. I got to do somebody who's not. Jaden Ivey's still a star per se as far as appeal, but I think he'll bring some light to the dunk contest. He'll make you want to tune in because the names they got realistically won't make you want to tune in.
Hey, I'm just saying, if you follow Hoops, Shaden Sharp, and Kenyon Martin Jr. will make you
love
want to
KJ,
tune in. And then if you see Matt McClung's videos, you might want to tune in still. But I get you.
Casual fan wise, right?
Yeah, Ja is a lot bigger.
Casual
so,
fans know Jaden, right?
Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Reese, we got Ja and we got Jaden. Who you got?
All right, so I'm gonna give my original answer, but then I'm gonna give an answer like Freddie gave. I'm gonna give my answer like Freddie gave first. So I'm gonna go Dennis Smith Jr. to kind of like Freddie was saying, right? Not too big of a name, but like a guy who can really like jump. All right, but look though, right? Wouldn't it just be special if LeBron James finally decided, you know what? He's the type of guy to do it up against a whole bunch of young guys and try to win. And that's where I think, you know what I mean?
This is the perfect time right now. Perfect time.
Right. It's funny you had him. It's funny you mentioned him. You actually mentioned both players that are on my list as well. Because I have a couple players that I really want to see do the dunk contest at some point in time. Dennis Smith Jr., shout out to Fayetteville, North Carolina, representing. He did try before. So I would like to see him try again. That would be nice. You know, Jalen Green tried last year. I wanted to see him try again, but he declined.
Yeah, but his was kind of like cringy, wasn't it? The whole
I was like, he did it way too much.
I think we all have a fantasy 4 that we will probably all agree on to do the dunk contest. I think we all got. Can we just throw that together real quick? Like,
I mean, I would love to see Braun, Ja, Zion,
Anthony Edwards.
So hear me out. Because I hear you on the Anthony Edwards thing, right? But I think people sleep on this man's athleticism. Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, but
he doesn't have the high.
Wild athlete, but he doesn't have the flair to, you know, he gets the airtime and all that. You know what I'm saying? But you think he'll, like, you see like Bron and them doing it. Like Bron just did something the other day that was wild. I think he caught an alley and it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you think Wiggins?
I think Freddie's saying Wig might not have the creativity.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel like we're basing this on the personalities.
I mean,
because so if we're doing that, then I would have Ant over Wiggins. But I think Wiggins jumps higher than Anthony Edwards. So, but that's just me personally. That's just
so you say Ja for sure, then Zion for sure. Ja for sure. You got to put Aaron Gordon in there if it's the.
Well, then if we doing that, I got to slide Zach LaVine into the mix because, you know, he did beat Aaron Gordon twice. At least once. But like, I gotta put him in there too. But yeah,
one of the best dunk contests ever.
We really we might not be able to make it 4. It might have to be 6.
Go back
to be honest with you, or 7. But you know, that's just
I'm gonna be honest though. Talking to young guys that like aren't as big as those other guys in terms of name at all. I think Shaden Sharp would beat them all. That buddy.
I mean, Shaden has the bounce to do it. Shaden has the bounce to do it, and he has the creativity, I believe, as well. Like, he's going to be special, bro. Like, I just want to be healthy. That's it.
He's sitting behind the right type of guys too, as far as to get his scoring, reach his scoring peak. Right guys to study.
He is. Now, fellas, let me ask y'all this: who you got for the 3-point contest? Who do you have for the 3-point contest? I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna give a quick 10, Rolf. Right? If you got anybody different, please say, because I want to make sure we give everybody their flowers. Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Simons, Lauri Markkanen, Tyrese Halliburton, Zach LaVine, Kevin Huerter, CJ McCollum, and Bojan Bogdanovic. Those would be the 10 people that I'd want to see in the 3-point contest. And I had that kind of in order as well. Reese, do you have anybody else to add?
So we're not talking about we talking about additions.
Yeah, additions.
Oh, additions. You said Clay. You said Stephen Clay.
I didn't say Clay. I didn't say Clay.
Oh, I would like to see Clay instead of Steph personally. I would like to see Clay. I would like to see Clay instead of Steph.
What's the main reason you want to see Clay over Steph?
I just
We're
like
talking
the way
about stars.
when I was thinking about guys for the 3-point contest, I thought about guys jumpers I'd like to see racking, and like Klay Thompson has one of those jumpers that you want to see him like really get.
It looks better. It looks better. It's beautiful. It's a pure shot. Okay, that's fair.
What I mean?
That's fair.
And that's kind of how I thought about Jason Tatum too. Like I know that he probably isn't the best 3-point shooter to be on the list, but I also think the way his jumper is like formed, it'd be cool to see him just take the ball.
Who won it last year, Cat?
Yeah, Cat won it last year. And it wasn't.
But he's injured though, so he's not gonna play.
Yeah.
It wasn't entertaining at all. That's what's funny.
I don't know. I think it was kind of. I think it was entertaining. I thought it was entertaining last year, but maybe that's just
like no. I misspoke. The contest itself is exciting. I'm saying to watch him shoot though. Like he don't have the most like attractive jumper. Like his jumper.
Yeah, but I mean, in the 3-point contest, I don't know. So to watch it, I hear you. But to see the 3-point contest, it's more about who puts the ball in the bucket. Like it's like Sean Marion. His form was ugly as hell. But if he was hitting 60%, I'd want to see him in a 3-point. You know what I'm saying? If he was a good 3-point shooter, I'd want to see him too. So it's like I think it's more about
I do appreciate what Reese is saying too, as far as.
Yeah, I get that.
Because I get that. Like I used to play 2K, do the 3-point. What was it live? You grab it off the racket. Some cats' forms just look so damn. It's like,
yeah, they just look awful. Look awful. But I mean, I don't really have a lot of names to add. I actually would have went Darius Garland over Donovan Mitchell. That was another one that I thought about. Yeah, I actually like I think DG because he's the point guard. He doesn't really get to, but like people forget, like last season, like he was shooting like if he shot 10 threes a game, like you know what I mean. You were in a bad spot if he shot 10 threes a game.
Okay. No, that's fair. DG is not bad. DG's not a bad one. Freddie, who do you have in addition to? And again, I'll just read.
So Trey, if I say because I can't remember your list, I was just gonna.
I was gonna restate the list. I have Steph Curry, Buddy Hield, Donovan Mitchell, Anthony Simons, Lauri Markkanen, Tyrese Halliburton, Zach LaVine, Kevin Huerter, CJ McCollum, and Bojan Bogdanovic. And then Reese stated Klay Thompson and Darius Garland. So Freddie, who else would you add?
I'm gonna try to not duplicate any names you said because I had KCP.
People. That's what he just said.
Had KCP, right? Keegan Murray, Damian Lee, Seth Curry, and Malik Beasley are the ones that I had that I didn't hear you say. And then I had a few like the stats, obviously Clay's and Lauri's, Donovan's.
Okay. Now I heard the reasoning for Reese, but like Freddie, what put you? What made you have those players on your list? I know Damian Lee was like at the top percentage in like 3-point percentage in the league. So is that the reason why for your list?
Yeah, he doesn't have the volume, but just for that on purpose. And then KCP the same. KCP been on he's been on a heater. Like he's really been. He was shooting like 48% at one point. I don't know if he's still up there. Keegan Murray's a rookie. I like to see rookies get a chance. He can shoot the hell out of the ball.
He can.
Seth is one of those guys. He's always shooting north of 40%. Malik Beasley's been hitting like 3 threes a game. You know what I'm saying? So just for those purposes, some cats who are like shooting a high percentage, and then others who are just knocking down a ton of threes while shooting a pretty good percentage as well.
Okay, that's fair. I know, like when I was looking at my list, I looked at the volume as well as percentage. So if you shot 40% and then you made like you took a respectable amount, then that's how like my list of 10 made. But like I also understand why you guys put yours up there as well. So I'm not mad at them either. The 3-point contest should be a good one. I do like to see a beautiful shot, so I can't be mad at Reese's selections. I can't. And people do sleep on Darius Garland. I will say that. So, but fellas, I think we spent enough time on the 3-point contest.
Physicality.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're about ready to start talking about the NBA All-Star selection.
Is that where we are?
I feel like it's best if we just do it like this, right? Just list off the players that you have for the East and West. Just list off. Don't give reasons why. We'll talk about it after the fact. So I'm gonna just start it off the bat with saying, I believe Giannis as the captain. You can do that. But then I got Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Joel Embiid with, this one's tough, but I'm going to have to go Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, Jimmy Butler, DeMar DeRozan, Bam Adebayo, Pascal Siakam, Jared Allen. It's a toughie between Darius Garland and OG Anunoby. And then I kind of differ on. I'm on the fence about them, so I'll have you guys help me out in a second with Durant because he's out with the injury. So if he comes back, slide him in for somebody. But on the West side, we got Luka as the captain with Steph Curry, Devin Booker, Zion, Nikola Jokic, Ja Morant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Paul George, LeBron James, Lauri Markkanen, Anthony Edwards, De'Aaron Fox, and Domantas Sabonis. AD is also, possible as long as he comes back. So those are my players. I believe we started with Reese first. So the person we'll have the most controversy with, we're going to start with Freddie.
All right. So I got a name on here that I can't even read. But we're going to make it a problem. But so I have Harden, Donovan, Tatum, Giannis, Embiid. Hopefully KD comes back. Right now I have him as making it, but somebody fill in for him as a reserve. JB, Kyrie, Tyrese Halliburton, Darius Garland, my man Julius Randle, Pascal Siakam, and then I have, it's a toss-up between Jimmy Butler and Bam. I went with Jimmy Butler, but I mean, one of them got to be on it, right?
Okay.
And then, like I said, there was a name on there. I don't even know what the heck it says, so I'll leave that alone. Oh, it says DeMar DeRozan as an asterisk DeMar, just in case we got another injury. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what about your West?
My West, I have Steph, Luka, Bron, Zion with an asterisk because we just don't know. Joker, Ja, Sabonis, AD with an asterisk. Devin Booker, Lauri Markkanen, Shai Gilgeous, Damian Lillard, and De'Aaron Fox with Kawhi on the outside looking up.
Okay. With Kawhi on the outside. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, Reese, what you got for me? Start it off with your East.
So, I'm about to say, I'm cool with just doing my starters because I know y'all already listed a lot of names. So I'm going to just give my starters for both sides. So for the East, and so I understand the rules. I don't give a damn about them rules. All right. These are the 5 most entertaining players that need to start to make the All-Star game its most
Marcus Smart.
And I apologize to everybody who loves a center, but ain't no center starting because they asses can't get up and down the court.
Blake Griffin.
All right. So, with all that being said, and this is also, I don't give a damn about the injuries. Who cares about what's going on in real life? This is what's going to make it most entertaining.
I'm curious who your list is because you said no centers starting, so I need this list now.
Okay, all right. So, we're starting with Donovan Mitchell. All right, Jaylen Brown, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, Giannis. Ain't no center making the start 5.
Joel Embiid, they make him starting 5, averaging 34 and 9. And
hey, Freddie.
With the second best record in the East. We're gonna do this right now.
Freddie,
who's your West?
Freddie, I'm here to sell tickets. I'm here to sell tickets. All right. I'm not here to do nothing else. I'm here to sell tickets.
All right, my fault.
Who's your West?
Okay. We got Ja, Luka, LeBron, Zion, and so I'm gonna be honest with you. It was tough to not include a big for the West, but I'm a man of my own, and this person technically isn't that big. So,
oh my God.
Okay, I went Anthony Davis, but it's just kind of like just because he can get up and down the court, and I feel like he can.
Oh, that's not that extreme. I mean, it's extreme. You don't got Joker in there, but it's not that extreme. You went Anthony Davis. I thought you was about to go way left.
So, like, to be
But
clear,
Anthony
like,
Davis might not be
you when you said you have no big starting initially, you did not just you meant like in all the All-Stars. Like,
what I took from this is you don't like centers. You don't like traditional centers.
Not for park style basketball. I don't want to see your back to the basket.
But you get rewarded.
you act like Jokic isn't electrifying.
Bro, Embiid and Jokic are two of the most skilled players in the league.
Everything that they do is still kind of slow.
Nah, bro. Embiid's crossover step back mid range that he hit. Who was it? Plumlee with last year or Myers? Yo, what? You got Embiid.
Both of them have produced two of the best games this season, and you mean to tell me you would not want to see them start?
Joker.
They're both in the MVP discussion, and you wouldn't want to see them start.
You know what this is about? It's not about them. It's about
a troll. I know
Jaylen
it. It's a troll.
Brown.
It has to be.
It's about Jaylen Brown. That's what this is about. Jaylen Brown. That's all.
It can't be. It can't be. It can't because Jaylen Brown's a guard. So like, JB's a starter for me. But Joel's also a starter for me too. So because I actually had a question for you guys.
You're right.
Kevin Durant. So like my starting for the East is actually easier than the West. But I got Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. Now y'all know I love KD though, and KD would have been in my starting list if KD did not go out. So let's say KD comes back and then the Nets get back a little healthy. Who do you guys have? Like, where do you place them? Like, because personally,
still the same.
I think I might want to take out Giannis over Joel Embiid. And I said over a Joel Embiid because I'm talking about point in time right now. The 76ers have been hooping.
And also,
and Joel Embiid, I believe, is at the helm of that. And then Jason Tatum, I can't take him out because, you know what I'm saying? So now it's like, all right, well, I can't put him at the two guard. So
right. But why does KD have to get put in the starting lineup over Giannis? Like, KD has missed a lot of time. It is what it is. And Giannis has a better record.
So last time we saw Kevin Durant, he took his Nets from the 13 seed to the 2 seed. Now, I'm not giving every single bit of credit to KD.
You can't, because Kyrie, when Kyrie started turning up is when that
Jock was doing his thing. We got to give them credit. But I think they are, a 4 seed now? So they are slipping, and they were the 2nd seed in the East. So that's why I put KD at the starter spot. It's where they stopped.
But they've not been healthy all year as well. Brooklyn's been healthy pretty much until KD went out.
That's a fair point, too. That's a fair point. Like, the Nets also have not been healthy either, I would say, too. But they've had an in-and-out lineup as well. So, I mean,
who, though?
I think Ben Simmons, personally. He's been playing, yes, but he hasn't been healthy.
It took him a while to get going,
Yeah, so that's why I give him credit as well.
I mean, that's tough, but okay. I feel like that's unfair because Giannis played the majority of the games when KD missed it. That's the only main difference. I had KD in the starting lineup, too. With unfortunately Jason Tatum out at one point, which sounds crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Sounds crazy.
It's tough to figure out who gets taken out because I hate the position. I hate the position that we're in where we have to fit position. Because if we're just talking about who's starting, who's starting in general. Actually, maybe JB gets the boot after.
No, he does. Right. Let's send him. He'll be all right.
But does he get the boot over Donovan Mitchell when we're saying Jaylen Brown's the better shooting guard?
The best.
Who's saying Jaylen Brown's better than Donovan Mitchell?
Best.
Didn't we say that? Because we had Jaylen Brown and D Book as the debate for the best shooting guard in the league. So unless that's changed, because nobody mentioned Donovan Mitchell. I even said that, and everybody was like, "Of course, why would we?" Like someone scoffed. I feel like so.
I don't know if I remember us talking about JB and Book. I don't know if we saying which one's better, which one's number one. Donovan's in that conversation though.
Devin Booker was drafted a year ahead of Jaylen Brown. Averaged 30 minutes and 14 points. Jaylen Brown averaged 15 minutes on 6 points his first season. In terms of the project levels, they were on roll.
Can we just talk about the fact that we're talking about who's the best shooting guard in the league right now?
Yeah, I know.
Right.
So, yeah, no,
Hey, Reese. Hey, Freddie, wait for this though. Notice how nobody even hinted at Spider.
I mean, no. He's not better than Jaylen Brown or Devin Booker.
But here's the thing though. Maybe by the end of the season, I'm gonna say Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the third best shooting guard in the league.
You think, okay. And mind you, that was before the 71 double game. I'm still not.
Well, he was 26, 27 points per game in the Western Conference, winning 50 games a year, and has some playoff performances that, you know what I'm saying, as the number one guy. Like, Jaylen Brown is my favorite shooting guard in the league, by the way. So I don't want you to get it.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. Does this which starting lineup sounds better to you? Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, KD, Giannis, and Joel Embiid, or Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, KD, Giannis,
Donovan
and Joel
Mitchell.
Embiid? Reese, who's your answer? And I know you're biased too, but like, try to give me an unbiased.
Yeah, I'm biased.
answer.
I don't give a damn. Jaylen Brown, the one with Jaylen Brown starting. I don't give a damn about being biased tonight. You think I care?
Yeah, I'll take Jaylen Brown over my team over Donovan Mitchell. Don't get me wrong, but Donovan Mitchell deserves to be there instead of, like, two things can be true for me.
Okay. I think in terms of how we've selected players before, Donovan would get the nod, but for me, I got to go Jaylen Brown personally over him. I put Donovan in there strictly because of the of the guard slot. So, but like I said, I was just curious what y'all thoughts were if KD was healthy, because his injury is so annoying. He's always injured come All-Star game, man. That is so depressing.
Bengals scored first, by the way. Just want to throw that out there.
Okay, cool. Come on.
Yeah, I know it was Jamar Chase.
Maybe I should have cashed out. I might cash out. Let me ask you guys real quick too, and then we'll go on to the West. Nobody said Kyrie Irving, but I saw him on the fan voting. And I know we've seen players like Austin Reeves up there, but and I'm not trying to discredit Austin Reeves. I'm not trying to pick on him, but we know he's not an all-star. Kyrie Irving is an all-star as a talent. So I mean, is there any chance that Kyrie can get into the all-star ranks? I mean,
oh no, he was on my all-star.
He's gonna be an all-star. He just might not be a starter. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My fault, Freddie. I think I missed something from that. Okay, because I had him off just because, and maybe this was like a point in time for me, but like,
you didn't say Kyrie.
I did not say Kyrie.
I think that's why Freddie didn't say him.
No, I said Kyrie.
He said he did. Yeah. I missed that part because I would have put him in there over.
Well, no, remember Freddie, you just tried to pick names off your list without repeating what Trey had said. So you might have thought that he said Kyrie already.
Well, I read off my whole list for this because it was KD, JB, and Kyrie as my first three that I read off as reserves. But yeah, he's on my list for sure. I'm gonna give him his credit for sure.
Got you. Okay. And so I guess nobody rocking with OG Anunoby for All-Star. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. That's dandy. It is what it is. For the West, though, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Initially, I did not have LeBron James starting. I didn't, but I got you now.
Do you not want anybody to tune in?
What was your?
Do you not want anybody to tune in? Are you not trying to sell tickets?
No. I feel like you could sell.
Who did you have over him?
Sell tickets because here was my lineup: Steph, D-Book, Luka, Zion, and Jokic. But at that time, D-Book was playing, right? And they were much higher than my Lakers. But D-Book has not been playing a lot. And even though Bron and us are still the 13th seed, he been hooping. I can't.
Why did you have Steph over Bron? Why did you have Steph over Bron back then when they were struggling too?
No, the Warriors had climbed up.
Oh,
the Lakers have been 13 for like the majority of the season.
Right. Okay. I thought you said in the past you had Bron. No.
When I say past, like this was like it wasn't too long ago. I just tweaked it a little bit, but like back then when I initially did it, I had Bron not starting, but I have him starting now.
Gotcha.
Even though our standing is not looking that great, but if Anthony Davis does come back, it makes things a little tricky because I did have him as a starter if he were playing. So it's like he can come back.
I think AD missed too many games to be a starter. I don't know if you gotta make a certain amount of games, but I feel you on that because I had AD starting over Bron. You know what's crazy? I think I had Luka, Booker, Zion, AD, and Joker at one point, and Bron was out because Bron he ain't ramping up like he is now. I had Steph and Bron, which is wild coming off the bench.
So Lauri Markkanen isn't able to be a starter.
I don't think he's going to be a starter, but he makes the team though. Like, I mean, just because it's
does he start over Sabonis?
You said what?
Well, because that mean he would be starting over Sabonis, which is crazy. Because
Sabonis, that crazy.
No,
it's not that crazy.
That's crazy.
It's not that crazy.
I don't know
about what
it's not that crazy.
Sabonis is a center though. It wouldn't be that crazy for Lowry to take.
But they don't. So they're going to do it as they play it as front court. So it goes like back court and front court. So because so it's not. You can have two centers start theoretically. Yeah. And mind you, Sabonis can also play power forward.
He's a power forward. Yeah, I think that's wild that Lowry with a under 500 record putting up 22 points a game. We acting like him putting up 22 points a game is the wildest shit ever. In Chicago, when he was there with Wendell Carter.
Let's not try to discredit them too much.
No,
because the Jazz were like a 3 seed at one point in time during the season, a 2 seed, I want to say too.
Yeah, they started.
And now they're a number 9 seed point in time. So I mean, they would still make the play in. And I'm not trying to like get too technical, but we just gave someone with a 13 seed a starter spot. So I mean, I don't want to.
But it's different. So you're telling me what Lowry's doing, but this is my point. If LeBron was putting up Lowry's numbers this year, we'd be like, yeah, he needs to retire. You get what I'm saying? Like, we got to keep things in perspective. If he's putting up 22 all of a sudden, bro, we'd be like, yeah, he ain't got it no more. Ain't
that ridiculous? 22 points means it's time for LeBron James to retire.
I feel like that's a little egregious.
Think about how many players
throwing up like 22, 9, and 3 or something like that. Like, that's not bad.
No, it's good. It's good, but I think we're hung on that 22 points per game number because Lowry's been good since Chicago. Then he dipped off significantly.
It's the impact too, though. Nobody saw the Jazz even in contention for the 9th spot of the West.
But then we got to look at Jordan Clarkson. We got to look at Mike Conley's contribution. We got to look at Walker Kessler.
I mean, remember though, we were talking about that Utah Jazz team being a repeat Atlanta Hawks. If they had kept up what they were doing in the beginning of the season, if the Jazz were still a 1 or 2 seed right now, the state of Utah could vote them into starting positions if they really tried.
Jordan Clarkson and Lauri Markkanen would be starters.
Yeah, for sure.
If Andrew Wiggins could do it, so could they.
Absolutely.
So I can't discredit Lauri Markkanen too much. And matter of fact,
I'm
Freddie,
saying,
you had him on your list last time, and I forgot to include him. So it's like, I remember you mentioned him last time, and I forgot to mention him on my list initially because I made it a big deal. I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. So
I did West and then I did East. Okay, so I had Steph, Luka, Bron, AD, Joker. I had Ja. I had Aaron Fox. I had D-Book. I had Jeremy Grant. I had Lauri Markkanen.
Wow, I'm so sorry. I'm so sick right now. Oh my God. Yeah, I missed one.
But hey, whatever. I didn't have Shea. So he definitely deserves to be an all-star. Sabonis over Sabonis is wild to me. Like,
oh, you talking about Farisa's statement? Oh,
yeah. No, he deserves to be. I have him on my list for sure. Yeah. But over,
I don't know about over, especially definitively. If you want to try to make a case for it, especially if you're talking about impact. You might be able to say something because Sabonis has De'Aaron Fox, but still, Lauri Markkanen has been playing pretty well. Like I don't know to say though. Over
14
Sabonis,
zip. Wow,
that's tough. But I gotta say, fellas, this was
Freddie. I'm over here. All of my money. I just need the bills to score. All of my money is
going up. Oh, they haven't scored at all.
It's 14-0 right now.
What quarter? Hold on.
Still the first quarter. 3 minutes left.
That's depressing. Something told me I need to cash out. Something told me every time you see cash out, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you're supposed to do. But look, we're going to transition on to the next segment, ladies and gentlemen. So hope you all stay tuned, but please definitely enjoy the highlights. and cherish this moment too, because it wasn't a lot of back and forth. This was actually a good conversation. This was a good conversation. So, but definitely enjoy the highlights.
Consistency is starting to return for Levine as the tip is won by the Bulls. LeVert, the foul line, stops halfway down the lane. Now Osmond inside to Allen. Dumps it back to Mitchell. Mitchell free to shoot. Finds Osmond. Osmond has it. Strong. Mitchell pulls up. He knocks it down. Neto, Lopez, Osmond, LeVert, and Okoro are on the floor. Neto gets the roll. Virtually the same spot that he missed with just a second remaining 2 nights ago in Chicago. It's Drummond with Caruso in the corner, back to Williams. Now Levine. Got it. Cavaliers tonight to Osmond. Osmond breaks to the foul line. Now Mitchell. Mitchell across the lane. Oh, Donovan has his head up. Shakes on Caruso for a long three. No, or not. Just play hard. Levine pulls the trigger. Levine comes out of the corner, ducks into a 15-footer that Mitchell works on Caruso. Got bumped by Williams, puts it up and in.
Shot. Not bad defensive stand by the Cavs.
Mitchell crossed over his man and Levine.
We'll take it.
Mitchell. 10-footer, he's got it by Allen. Finds it back into the lane. Spins again, got it. Ball. Mitchell draws a double. Osmond's wide open. He's got it. DeRozan works on Okoro, looking for an opening. Spins, banks, draws a foul and scores. 4 here in half number 2 as Osmond squares up on Caruso, takes it inside to the left. Density is picked up here in this second half. Zuma looking to penetrate on Neto.
You got to come in from that weak side and help Nettie.
Osmond again to the DeRozan checked by LeVert, rises, fires. LeVert picked up by Williams, goes to Mitchell. Mitchell penetrates, lays it up and in.
2 good shots.
Levine down the lane, puts it up, puts it in, and it's under 8 to go. Mitchell pulls up. It does.
He is going after these Bulls.
Mitchell right around Caruso to the basket, lays it up and in high. He's had 57 in a playoff game before. Levine fires. Mitchell off to Love. Love wide open for a 3. He's got it.
Season said they could have been the 6th seed and not had to play the play-in tournament because of those losses the team.
DeRozan now has 35 points. Mitchell inside. His floater doesn't go. He gets it back. The Bulls have committed 27 fouls. And Mitchell to Allen. Guarded by LeVert. Works himself to the foul line in toward Love. Floats it up and swings one over to Okoro. Okoro baseline reverse. Sumu got loose. DeRozan in toward LeVert. LeVert leans on him. DeRozan uses the window. Minute has Donovan Mitchell. Zigzags inside. Floats it up and floats it in. Vucevic wanted it inside. And DeRozan forced to take a 3. And he's got it. And knocked him down. Finds LeVert. LeVert for 3. He knocks it down.
No panic.
Each team has 2 timeouts remaining. Mitchell. DeRozan to the foul line. Levine with a pump fake, gets inside, back to Vucevic, spots up for 3. Mitchell wants it. Good play to keep that ball in bounds. Mitchell floats to Allen. Mitchell will go for the quick 2. Go to Allen. Allen inside, floats and scores to go. He missed it. Mitchell! Finds DeRozan who skidded. DeRozan's going to have to force him a wild 3 and the Cavs do. Get storm their way back. The Cavaliers scored 8. Mitchell pulls up. He knocks it down. 16 and 20. Here we go. Karis LeVert works his way to the basket. Got there. Oh, what a rebound. He just blew right past Levine. Mitchell to the basket. Mitchell wants it. He gets it. Mitchell steps back. Mitchell for 3. Unbelievable. In goal, in front of this crowd, goes for 71 points. A breathtaking, a dazzling, a phenomenal performance.
All right, so we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, we got the Would You Rathers, and we're going to do it like this. What it is we're going to state, well, who would you rather or what would you rather select? So, Reese, Freddie, we gonna kick it off. Oops, almost forgot the banner. Nuggets versus Celtics. Reese, we're gonna kick it off with you since you're a Celtics fan. So give me your spiel as to why the Nuggets are going to win again.
I'm going Celtics. This man is so different.
That was smooth. That was very smooth.
I'm going Celtics. However, Nikola Jokic is a problem in that matchup. He is a glaring issue in every matchup that he's in, but it's specifically for a team that's kind of built to switch every position. If we switch Marcus Smart onto Jokic, it is a net positive possession for the Nuggets every time. No matter how tenacious Marcus Smart is, you could argue they are in that film room and saying this is exactly what we want. And they keep going.
Okay. Freddie, who you got in this matchup?
Denver is a terrible matchup for the Celtics.
Come on.
They have the perimeter guys to defend your bigger perimeter guys. And then they have Joker, who was 6'8", Robert Williams, and a 6'9" old Al Horford is not going to be able to stop. Okay. And you guys don't have an interior game to take advantage of Joker defensively. I think Denver would beat Boston in 6.
I do too.
And yeah, it's literally just a matchup. It's literally just a weird matchup for Boston. The one probably one or two teams in the West that can give Boston a tough time. Maybe 3 because Golden State. But I think Memphis, Denver, and Golden State all just are weird matchups for Boston. And unfortunately, Joker, I think, will be the great equalizer in that situation.
Okay. I do believe Nuggets over Celtics. I think I said this before to you guys. Jokic is a mismatch. Aaron Gordon has been playing pretty consistent. If that stays the course, that's tough for you guys.
Aaron Gordon is for us guys.
Here's the reason why I say that. Him giving you 16 points a game efficiently, also being a defender, can rebound as well. He fits that team. He's someone who is capable of guarding Jason Tatum. I didn't say stop, but he can definitely guard him. So, I mean, you throw Michael Porter Jr., who's someone who now 6'9", 6'10", on Jaylen Brown. He can move them puppies enough to make JB shoot over top of him. That can alter JB a little bit as well. So, I'm just saying. And, you still got Jamal Murray, who can throw up 15 to 20 a game. So, I mean, this team is pretty stout. And I ain't even talking about Bones yet. You know what I mean? So, they're pretty deep. Uncle Jeff is still catching bodies out there. Like
Michael Porter is a walking bucket.
You know what I mean? And he's stroking that from that 3 ball. So I mean,
I just want to put out there.
Is good. Y'all got a lot of talent.
I just want to put out there this whole notion that there's any team in the league that has 2 defenders to guard Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. That is a false negative. It's not a thing. Jason Tatum, hold on real quick. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown last 3 games versus the Nuggets. Jaylen Brown, 30, 25, and 30. Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum, 30, 34, and 25.
I got you.
I don't know if, Freddie, you made the comment earlier, in a league where guys are putting up 20 to 40 points, like a flip of the coin, snap of the finger, blow of the nose. Yeah. Grant Williams Jason Tatum didn't play last night against the Raptors, and Grant Williams gave me 20. I mean, I'm not.
Now, here's where I go with this. Playoff basketball, Golden State did it to y'all last year.
I was going to say, Golden State's done it to y'all before. You said there's not a team that's done it. Like, Reese, they're a team that can guard Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, not completely stop them.
They both averaged 25 a game. They just kept turning. We're talking about foot turnovers.
But you're not going to get turnovers. But you can beat your team, especially if both of them aren't going off. If I slow down one enough, I feel comfortable against the Celtics. But I mean, I heard the Nuggets for 2 at least, so it's 2 in the possible.
No, you went with your Celtics. But I said the Nuggets because of how dominant Jokic is. Y'all are saying the Nuggets because of the supporting people, and I don't think that they're supporting people. Like if I'm putting the
not better.
I'm saying in addition to the Jokic dominance, they have all of that factoring in. Like Aaron Gordon playing consistent helps out. Now Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. don't have to do as much. Like they're still coming back off injury. People don't remember that. So it's like
JB has to guard.
He has a back injury. Like that's something
JB
to
has to guard one of those elite. Well, Jamal Murray, we can call him an elite scorer, right? Michael Porter Jr. 6'10", you got to really lock up against Michael Porter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Michael Porter, what did he put up? Maybe 16, 17 a game this year. But he's a 50-40 guy as well, right? You got to work against Michael Porter.
He's not guarding Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, though.
Well, no, but they got to guard him.
I'm talking about his height. It makes it sometimes tougher. It's a 4-inch difference in height.
They have to guard him.
Trey.
And that too.
Going on the other end and getting guarded by
Freddie.
Bruce Brown and Aaron
Trey's
Gordon.
argument for Michael Porter Jr. is his height. Defense has nothing to do with height if you don't have the effort or the nose for it. Michael Porter Jr. does not put forth the effort to play defense.
His effort has improved. I'm not acting like he's a lockdown defender. I'm saying with his improved effort, his height, he's mobile enough to at least make it tougher for JB to score. That's my point with MPJ. On the defensive side, I'm speaking more towards Aaron Gordon, making it tougher on JT. I would rely on that a lot more than MPJ. But I'm not saying MPJ can't do it. That's all. But again, I'm hearing
you got Bruce Brown, you got Aaron Gordon,
you got KCP. You got KCP as well too, don't you? So I mean, they got players over there who can make it.
Y'all forget that my first $100 bet was that Boston money line against the Nuggets. I watched that very painful loss from beginning to end, and I want you to know, none of the guards that y'all are speaking of ever stopped anybody. Like they just didn't get this. Like, I mean, KCP is 6'4", bro. He's not guarding Jaylen Brown. Bruce Brown, 6'4". He's not like they like.
But that's unfair, though, bro.
Put forth the effort, and I'll give you.
I was about to say, we're gonna have to transition. We got to transition. But
Golden State ain't had no. Never mind.
We'll see what happens next game. But again, though, on the record, you did hear that they lost.
He was currently suspended from the team for the entire season. Now Porter's got a good look. First shot is on the other end. Now Jokic is double. Bruce Brown is wide open for three. And he hits. Brown into Jokic. And Jokic now has 88 dunks. He's tied for second with Evan Mobley in 3-point performance. Now Jokic is going to power it up and in. 21-14 Denver. Smart in the lane. And he puts it to bed. Collects the rebound. No, he's going to come in and play good defense. Dump it into Gordon. Jokic on the move. Scores again. Coming off a good game. 15 points. Got 3 to shoot. Glasgow drives. And got it. Get it. Bones. Tough shot. And he knocks it in. All right, thinks he might be able to play it by the end of the year. Mozgov playing with a Russian second foul. So intercepted by Gordon. Gordon's got a head of steam. Gordon to Najee. Selling well at the outset here. First half. Now Brown in the lane picked up and rolls the lane. Had his opportunity for the shot. Ball left. No. Rebound available. Nobody there. And nice. Got it. Jaylen Brown, guarded by Bruce Brown. No turnover. Now Tatum's going to ride it in. That's an offensive foul. Wow, we had a 13-point lead just a moment ago. Alley-oop. 7 of 9 shooting, and he's made all 5 free throws. Nuggets trying to push the lead back up. Tatum. Nuggets. Celtics made 13 free throws as Brown is away. Nice defensive rebound.
Pretty good one-on-one defense from MPJ there.
KCP just.
Now they're taking good shots within the transition offense.
Nuggets have made 8 of 14 threes. Now Horford, he's almost. Jokic against Grant Williams. Turn on Williams, come underneath, score and a foul. In the last game, worth repeating. Tatum, and Tatum lays it in. Now Horford can't shoot, Williams might, and in he comes. Great ball movement. Brogdon, short jumper, good. White. And Williams, their lead up to 16. Gordon, go in the lane, White. Also got to go on that screen. Extra pass, Vlatko for 3. Got it! Bones to the shoot, Bones. How do you like them, Bones? And here in the fourth quarter, wide open KCP. Nails it. Bones isolated against Hauser, should be able to go by, instead steps back. And Screener, he's got one. Bones shoot another 3. That's good too. That's why he's rolling. Bones in the lane, tries to shoot, it's taken by Brown. Got to run back. Difference right there. Alley-oop to Williams. Caught up. Bones for 3. Yes! 7 threes. They've held the Celtics to 7 of 28. Now 8 of 25. 112 to 99 Denver. Long race, that's good. Bruce Brown lets it go. Got it! 30, 11, and 10 for Jokic. And the lay-in is good.
The NBA, so you have to pick him up early.
Now Aaron Gordon's in the lane. Pass it in, and Brown is away. Of all the Celtics, ahead to Porter. Alley-oop.
And obviously it's a team effort defensively, but shout out Aaron Gordon.
And the lay-in is good. Another.
Had not beaten the Boston Celtics.
That's a good win.
Now, I got a question for you fellas. Luka and Embiid or Ja Morant and Jokic? Which duo do you like better? Reese, I'm gonna start with you.
Luka and Embiid.
Okay. Now, Freddie, I'm gonna go with you. Which one would you rather go with?
Luka and Embiid.
That's tough. Okay, Reese, what was your main reason for going Luka and Embiid?
I just don't think Ja and Jokic can stop Luka and Embiid. Like one for one, I don't think they can get stops. I mean, Ja 6'3", Luka 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", he's something like that. I mean, the man is just too big. And Embiid probably got Jokic by like 40 pounds, but at the same time, probably don't have him by 40 pounds. I don't know. It's weird how their bodies are built. So it's like, I just think all Embiid got to do is throw his weight around a little bit. Drop 50 cross, step back. I mean,
no, I get that too. Freddie, is your answer pretty much the same as Reese's, or do you have anything different to add?
So I looked at it I didn't know we were talking about from a 2-on-2 standpoint. I was just thinking I would rather have those two guys on my team because one, of course, Luka's height and everything, but also I've seen Luka be able to do more with less. Again, better than anybody else. That's always been my thing. He can score with the best of them, facilitate with the best of them, rebound with the best of them, single-handedly destroy an entire team, right? Great team. And then, I think Embiid is better than Joker. I love the two-sided play, right? Play on defense, offense, so on and so forth. So, yeah, it was easy for me.
Okay. It's interesting. One, I didn't want to give a specific reason as a specific answer as to like, all right, in 2 versus 2 or like in a game 5-on-5. I just wanted to get like y'all, like I wanted to show like how you guys were thinking. I hear you on the 2v2 if you want to talk Luka and Embiid. In a 5-on-5, I might want to go Jokic and Ja personally. I've seen what Jokic has done with his supporting cast. Like, you mentioned Jamal Murray as an elite scorer. I don't have him pegged as an elite scorer. I have Ja pegged as an elite scorer, and I would love to see that in a 5-on-5. And I feel like I can get some defenders and some 3-and-D players to, like, you know, fill out the roster spot. So I might go Ja and Jokic on that. But I can't be mad at Luka and Embiid again. Luka has brought he has done a lot more with less, or he has done more with less. And Embiid, you know, if you had that pairing, like we've seen what he's doing with Christian Wood, so pairing with Embiid, that would be tough. But I might go Ja and Jokic again. Ja's electrifying, and then Jokic, I think if he gets a guard like that, that might spell a championship. But I was just curious about that.
Yeah, so y'all don't think Jamal Murray is an elite scorer? You don't think he reached the, offensively, not like as a player?
Yeah.
The ability to score.
I wouldn't call him an elite scorer. I think he's a good scorer. Don't get me wrong. He snapped in the bubble, but like, you know how I feel about the bubble too. So I mean, I do want to give him like another. I'm not trying to be unfair. It's like I'm not saying he can't be an elite scorer. I'm just thinking right now, like he's coming off injury. I want to like give him some time. Maybe next year, like, or see how he does this year. But like, I don't feel elite scorer when I see Jamal Murray. I don't get that feeling personally. I think a respectable scorer, elite scorer. Yeah, like when I think elite scorer, Dame.
I think
Kyrie,
Wiggins is a respectable scorer. Kuzma is a, you know what I'm saying? Like, so okay.
I mean, Wiggins was a scorer before, like, he went over to the Warriors too. People forget about that. Like, he was one of the top scorers in the league. So I mean, I can't
20 every season. Yep.
I don't see Jamal Murray too much higher than that. Granted, he snapped in the bubble when he was going up against the Jazz and them, but I don't have him pegged as that. So, but okay. I was just curious about that. Okay. We got 2 more, fellas. Y'all good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, bet. So now, 76ers versus Grizzlies. We talked about Luka. We talked about Embiid and Ja. Who y'all going with? Freddie.
I think Memphis.
Memphis. Okay.
I think
Reese,
Memphis.
Reese, are you going Memphis as well, or are you going to 76ers? Sixers. Okay. So it looks like we might even have a bet take place. You know, these boys.
I wouldn't bet on that. Because I'm not confident in saying Memphis. Like, I want to say Sixers now, but that's a tough. I would love to see that matchup in a 7-game series. Actually, there's a lot there to pay attention to. Ja versus Harden. You know what I'm saying? You got Maxey in there mixing around with those guys. D'Anthony Melton playing his old team. Steven Adams trying to stop Embiid. Can Jaren Jackson fit in there? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Where does Tobias Harris fit in there? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some weird matchups in there. That's an interesting matchup, right? That's a good one.
Okay. Now, Reese, I peeped. It was kind of quick and easy for you, right? Freddie's like, I don't know. I'm on the fence. Why did you go 76ers that quickly?
Same way I went Nuggets as fast as I did. When you think about
big man.
Yeah, the big man.
So just to be clear, it's the same fellas that you didn't want starting in the All-Star game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a 7-game series, not a park pickup game. So yeah.
This man's very disrespectful. Okay.
Joel Embiid's more skilled than Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart.
I don't disagree.
All right.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I actually very much so agree.
Yeah, Joel Embiid's pretty skilled, fellas. I go 76ers in this. I think Harden's playing well. Joel Embiid is pretty dominant, most dominant big in the game. Even though, you know, Jokic is there, Joel Embiid can still be the most dominant player in the game. So I mean, I believe in the 76ers, and as long as they're healthy. Plus, I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. can stop Embiid or slow him down. He's gonna get in the foul.
Would it be Steven Adams? Because Jaren Jackson is.
But that's the thing too. I feel like Steven Adams is gonna get like it's just gonna be too hard for them to contain Joel Embiid. So
yeah.
But you know, we'll see how that shakes. Who knows? Maybe the Grizzlies might turn up and beat the 76ers. Now for the final one.
Real quick, Trey, and I know we got. I just wanted to shoot something out there. Is it crazy that nobody talks about James Harden at all anymore? and this dude is still averaging 22 and 11. Is that crazy to y'all?
When you say they don't talk about him, Freddie, like what do you mean they don't talk about him?
He's not mentioned as like a top guard. He's just never talked about. And he's just steadily 11 assists, 15.
I think it's because of the ups and downs. I think it has something to do with the ups and downs of the Philly season. I think if they came out and like been a top 3 seed the entire time, I think you would definitely be getting a lot more James Harden talk. But I mean, I don't know. I personally feel like I don't know. I felt this way the entire season. I think NBA coverage on a global scale has been kind of like odd, like as to what people are choosing to talk about and like highlight James Harden being one of the things that could be highlighted. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if it's not negative, then we're not really seeing it.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
That's the media, though. That's the media. Media love, like everybody loves the negativity. So I mean,
that's right.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like there's other players to cover too outside of James Harden. And then you got Joel Embiid on his team. Like it's tough, but like Halliburton, I feel like for example, like we talk about him fairly consistently on this show. So I mean,
like Halliburton put up 20 and 10. We arguing is he the best point guard, top 3 point guard? And it's like Harden's doing this, and it's not even considered a great season for him. Like so, okay.
I think also the kind of negative stuff that has been around James Harden's name the past couple seasons, being out of shape, getting hurt, being in strip clubs with Lil Baby.
Right. Bad playoff performance last year.
Playoff performances, not being able to get to the big game. I mean, like Trey said, if it's not negative, I mean, they feel like they probably beat that horse into the ground.
That's fair.
That's probably why they're not talking about it.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Sean Wright in his 18th season, 82 playoff games, 1 finals game. Mitchell in his 8th NBA season. That's Mitchell. I think that's going to be an intriguing matchup because Embiid plays all over the floor. And Morant. Sixers' strength is their defense, 3rd best in defensive rating. Harris. And both teams ice cold to start. A look ahead for Adams, and he reverses the defense to give up just 106. Harris is when James Harden comes back.
Well, the ball's still moving up.
Thank you.
Up and down with transition, but also within their half-court sets. You want to move well against the Sixers D.
D'Anthony half steals. He's among the league leaders. Backdoor cut. Morant turns, guns, and gets it. Delivered by Embiid. Turnover the first on Philly. Morant, pretty move to the loose after the pump fake. Into Conchar, goes to the floor. Milton, 7 to shoot. Milton gets all the way to the cup and leads. Embiid goes at Adams and banks it in. Morant gets by D'Anthony, sends it, scores it from the baseline. Aldama, Tyus, a wide open 3. Bingo. Freedom making more their first quarter of the year. Embiid also top 10 in first quarter scoring. He averages 8 punched out, and Korkmaz has a run out, a 3-on-2, and this will be easy for Embiid. Stop. Shake Milton back in, the only starter on the floor for Philadelphia. Dillon drives it back top side. Shot clock down to 2. Dillon for 3. Bingo.
You look down to 8 for 9. It's a high number. See a good sneak inside. And
deflection, force a turnover. Looking to run. 4-on-3. Ronnie against Reed. Yes, and another foul. Brooks going to attack. Brandon Clark. Jaren in open floor. Going to attack Reed. Hang and hit. Looking to push again. Jaren a trailing 3. Yes, sir. He's also averaging 6 assists. He's taking on a bigger playmaking role. Backdoor cut. Grizzlies had 14 paint points in the first quarter. They have 10 here in the first 4 minutes of this quarter. Embiid's faded, so is Morant. It's Jackson, Adams, Conchar, Morant, and Roddy. Ja. Yes. Tobias Harris has that one rejected. Here's a run out. Morant, clear the runway, baby.
Milton misses that 3, but offensive rebound.
Shake Milton drives and bank. Morant lines up a 3. Bingo. Grizzlies their largest lead of the game. Morant got to the cup somehow. Holy. Another low dribble in the lane left. Grizzlies a big quarter in the paint. And Shake 5 of 9 for him. Milton sets up Niang for 3. Shot clock down to 4. Morant lobs and Clark finishes with 1.9.
Can he get his team into the penalty area?
I can sit over here and go to the games. DeAnthony Melton. Jared against Shake Milton elevates and gets the
hand-to-hand combat with those two.
Harris against Conchar off the switch. Oh, and Tobias.
Big opportunity halfway down.
Embiid will try. Knocked down a three. Comes an offensive rebound. Conchar for three. It's the throw in.
Oh, look at this partner.
Steven Adams. Rumble. Embiid against Steven Adams. Got Steven in the air. Gets to the rim with the
being able to still good hustle here defensively.
But it gets back to Niang, who scored. Roddy trying to dig it out. Ball still loose. Picked up by Dillon. Brandon Clark to the rim. And in at the horn. Roddy, pocket pass. Clark. Jaron for three. Yes. Big traffic. DeAnthony for three. Four going by in the fourth. Shot clock down to 5. Dillon creating off the bounce. Scoop scores and draws the play. Melton dribble drive. Backhanded layup is in. Weaving his way. Thought about a step back. Tyus for three. Tipped in by Shake Milton an open three. Home victory over Atlanta. They trailed by as many as 18 tonight.
Can we get a defensive stop here?
Embiid. 30. Conchar for three. Jaron offensive rebound. Banks it in the quarter. And now Shake Milton. Embiid. And a foul. And 4 of the last 5 overall. The rematch will be in Philadelphia on February 23rd. First game after the All-Star break.
Now, I'm glad we actually mentioned, though, negativity and publicity and stuff like that. Because we got Russell Westbrook versus Tyrese Maxey. And we got him at the third option specifically. Okay? I just want to make sure I do that out there. Reese, who would you, as your third option, rather have?
Russell Westbrook.
Tough. Okay. Freddie, are you changing? Are you going Russell Westbrook?
You know where I'm at with this, man. Come on.
Okay. Now, as the third option, again, why are y'all going Russ?
I feel like I can do more with the ball in Russ's hands than I can Tyrese Maxey. Not saying that Tyrese Maxey can't get to because if I say that, then I can say that I'm saying that Tyrese Maxey can get to an MVP level. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But I'm not saying that Tyrese can't get to a level of Russ in terms of how he can affect the floor. At the same time, I'm kind of not. What Russ does is very special, and the pace that he plays, people knock John Wall for playing at such a high pace and being so kind of reckless. But I mean, Russell Westbrook played at that same high pace and was as reckless, but somehow didn't get as much negativity. I don't know. It's something there. But yeah, I'm gonna go Russ still. I just think I can do more with the ball in his hand than Tyrese.
Okay. And Freddie, is that you? I guess you share the same sentiment. Is there anything different you wanted to add?
Well, yeah, just when you talk about, and especially this version of Russ is actually a very freaking good defender. But aside from that, you literally see how Russ makes his teammates better. Thomas Bryant has had the stretch of his life. It was pretty much Schroeder, Russ, and Thomas Bryant for a stretch where Brown missed a couple games or a game or two here and there. And you can just see Thomas Bryant was looking like baby AD for a second, all because of Russ getting him the easiest shots he had of his life, as well as getting Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, so on and so forth. So just Russ' ability to absolutely make people better, and he's also go out there and give you 20 while doing so. I think that matters.
Okay. I gotta say, fellas, I put third option specifically because I don't believe Russ fits every team as a third option as well as Tyrese Maxey might. So as a player, I hear you guys, but I think players like somebody might say, "Oh, let's get this person, put them together, and we're gonna win everything." Well, no, because people need to fit. So when I think third option, you need to be able to space the floor out. Tyrese Maxey is able to space the floor out better than Russell Westbrook. When I look at Tyrese Maxey, he's someone who can give me that 20 points a game while bringing me in 5 assists. I understand he's not doing that, but that's because he's on James Harden's team. When he actually plays without James Harden, it's a small sample size this season. 7 games.
But he's not the third option in that situation if he's not playing with James Harden.
No, I get that, but I'm saying he can bring me 22, 5 and 4, that's what he's capable of doing. So someone at that third option, I think he's able to fit in a little bit easier than Russ. So he has the ability. Russ has more ability as a player, but I think in terms of fitting wise, I think I might be able to fit. I have Tyrese fit a little bit easier.
Yeah, I'm saying as far as
22, 5 and 4 versus 19, 10 and 11.
Right, and giving you solid defense and giving your I guess also look at this standpoint. When your second best player goes down, can Maxey hold down? You know what I'm saying? That has to matter as well because Maxey's gonna have to elevate everybody else. And I don't want to because Maxey is dope. Maxey's having a great year. Prior to injury, he was snapping. What he did in Toronto was wild earlier in the year. I think he hit his first 8 threes or something like. So Maxey is a problem. I just think it's more so Maxey being able to get out in open court, up and down, is what opens his game up, right? As opposed to a Russ, he can do it both for you. He can do both for you, right? He can play the up-tempo game for you, get everybody, or he can, all right, let me go on a stretch to get you 3 or 4 straight buckets. I just feel like there's more there with Russ. But like you said, Tyrese does fit in with more teams. But that comes down to the coach. Yeah.
I also kind of, and I don't want to give too much slack. I don't want to give too much crap onto Russ. I do hesitate to say, oh, well, we can do more now. Because, as a second option, I've seen him and Braun kind of, play for quite some time now. And again, we're a 13th seed. So, point in time, I've seen what Russ is doing as a second option. Even though he's coming off the bench, it's a little tricky. He's still giving me starter minutes, though. He's still our second option.
So you think
but could we take the first 10 games, 12 games, and throw them away for y'all this year? Because that was a new coach trying to implement a new system and so on. So after Russ was then played out of position as a spot-up corner, 3-point shooter, baseline runner, and now he's coming in and he's learning. And then, because y'all had some stuff going before AD went down. Y'all were.
That's what I was gonna say. If you lose Joel Embiid for the same amount of time that you've lost Anthony Davis, does Tyrese Maxey and James Harden without Tobias Harris? I have to put that in there because at the end of the day, the 76ers are deeper than you all are in terms of star power in the play. They got bodies out there, so I can't keep Tobias Harris on that team because y'all don't have a Tobias Harris in LA.
Tobias, people don't realize how good Tobias is.
That's tough. That's tough.
Am I wrong though? Do y'all have a Tobias?
You're
no. Tobias,
because injuries are part of the game too. So I hear you on if you want to take away Joel Embiid because of Anthony Davis injury, but then you say on top of that, well, I got to take off now Tobias Harris. I don't know. I get why you're saying. I just hate that. That's tough.
I was going to take away y'all's fourth scoring option too. Whoever y'all's fourth scoring option is right now, I would take them away too. I don't know who that is though. That was my point.
Well, it would be Lonnie Walker who.
It would have been maybe Lonnie. Okay.
Then it was Schroeder for a bit. Then Schroeder disappears, pops up, disappears.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So it gets tricky. Okay. Austin Reeves has been out for a minute. So y'all had injuries and also.
So I guess you guys are saying it's the situation that Max is in is a little bit better than Russ, so therefore that helps him out in terms of appearance right now, point in time. If he was on a worse situation, he might not look as good.
No, he'll still get his numbers, but you're talking about impact and winning. It sounds like it's the difference between.
Yeah.
Essentially, right now, the Lakers start off 2-10. Since then they've been relatively respectable, But again, a lot of injuries have kind of derailed them every time they try to get something going. Okay, Bron's sitting out now. AD's out for a stretch. Okay, now Austin Reeves is out. I don't know what's wrong with him. Lonnie Walker's out. And it's just people are just coming in and going out. And Russ always is the one, same as last year. Russ was the one consistent piece. And you got people just coming in and out. And so, that's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I think what y'all brought up too on the building around, not building around, but like let's say a team, like a player goes down, cool. Like you need to fall back on somebody. I get that. I do get that part. That was a good point to bring up. That like made me kind of rethink it, but still I like Maxi's fit, so I get that. I get that. But look, fellas, that about wraps up the show and the quick take. So I appreciate that. Did y'all have anything you want to say before we close up?
Fly, Eagles, fly! Woo!
Well, I don't have anything to say. I don't know. I guess bye. All right.
That might just be the show. That might.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.
Yeah, I'm going Dawson Knox, first touchdown score. I'm throwing 15 on it. Let's get it.
Word. Okay, big dog. First touchdown, Dawson Knox.
Yeah, first TD, Dawson Knox.
You got to do it the other way too, though. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Because what if the boys
the other way?
They gonna get a stop. They gonna get a stop. They gonna get a stop. I ain't got that much money, Fred.
You ain't got
that much money.
You bet $50 games. Listen.
I ain't gonna lie to you, Freddie. I've been getting sold,
like, damn, you
bro.
bet 50? 100?
I ain't gonna lie to you.
You got that real money.
I'm gonna keep doing it, Freddie. Look, I ain't gonna lie. I put 55 on a 5-leg CBB play first half money line.
I don't know what.
College basketball, yeah. First half money line made me a smooth $89.
Yeah.
Keep moving, like let it fight another day.
I'm really tempted
But you
to
live, son.
cash out, bro. Fuck.
I'm gonna try this out. See if this bad boy actually works.
I got a lot of fucking plays out there right now. I'm just looking at this shit like, why did I do all of these plays?
I get center in this goddamn.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing a lot of plays as long as you, one, I guess, got the bread for it, and two, betting responsibly. But like, I got a whole bunch of bets out there that I've been doing, and I mean, you know, it's a dollar in the dream format. I'm still tight, Sabonis. Sabonis really cannot be getting me 20 at all. Like, I it's a problem. And then
it's not that he can't. I told, bro, it's system, bro.
No, I'm him. I'm
he can
him.
be
He
so much more effective if he
does
moves
so
the ball.
much for them. He has to do the rebound, or he does rebounding, playmaking, and scoring. It's like he gonna get me a low 21 or a low 20, but like it's gonna be a 16 to 21, and then he gonna get me easily 8 to like 13 rebounds, and then 5 to 7 assists every night.
Yo, what? Y'all still there?
Yeah, we can.
Sure.
Alright, I'm trying to.
Oh, that man said he bringing out the mic.
Yeah, Bobby. Now I've been trying to use it, but you know what I'm saying? No, man, it ain't working. What I did? I'm gonna act like it's on there. Fuck it.
I'm weak as hell. Make it till you make it. Me, I did the opposite. Made it, then I faked it.
I ain't got time to be fucking around with this bitch ass shit. Hey, got some spokes. I'm trying to talk some spokes out this motherfucker. Nah, that's all right. I'll worry about this shit later, man, because I ain't trying to hold up nothing. You know what I'm saying? Got all these damn microphones and shit. So I figure I might as well start using them after I paid all this fucking money for them.
No, I feel that.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to get your money, boy.
On a serious note, though, they said it's supposed to be difficult to beat a team 3 times in a season, and we beat the hell out of the Giants, dog.
Yeah, y'all beat the brakes off them.
No, like that shit was bad, Freddie.
Bro, it's 28 to zip at one point. Why y'all doing these men like this, man? These people got families. Crazy.
Freddie, if they cared about their families, they shouldn't have showed up. They shouldn't have showed up, Freddie.
Hey man, real quick, I just want to say this because I'm a little hurt by this shit. But bitch ass Zubac got 4 rebounds in the first 7 minutes of the game, and I stayed away from him because Zubich is a bitch. And if I relied on his bitch ass, he wouldn't have shown up today.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Put that out. Fuck that.
I would never bet on a Clippers player against Luka Doncic ever again.
Whoa. I can bet on take that L. But nah, yeah, Luka annihilates him. But
yeah, and it's just because he just also puts other teams in such bad foul trouble that like I really try to avoid betting player props that I know who are gonna end up guarding him at some point.
Well, yeah, I never really choose the big man that they're going up against to put up any crazy numbers. I'll usually maybe do the rebounds because naturally you're gonna get you a few boards even before you get out. And Dallas are one of those teams that most players don't hit their rebounding numbers on. It's crazy. They box out like a mom.
It's a team rebounding, gang rebounding.
Yeah, their defensive discipline is amazing.
That's the reason why he was able to get 20 that one time.
Their defensive discipline, Phoenix, not this year, but last year, Phoenix their defensive discipline to make Toronto was like that last year. Yeah. To make you do the one thing you don't want to do and make you have to get comfortable with it or just lose. Yeah. It's amazing.
You said rebounds, Freddie. In truth, it's points, assists, rebounds. Any team that is a team and they need all of their players kind of on hitting on cylinders to win. Raptors are a great example of that. I mean, hell, that's how Pascal Siakam can post a triple-double. Because Fred VanVleet, I ain't going, you know what? I don't need 8 assists. You take 6 of them.
Yeah. Scotty Woods. Who's Scotty Woods?
Scotty Barnes, yeah.
Who is
it's hard betting on the Raptors, bro.
My modified football team, yo.